Hello students, how are you? I hope you are quite well and safe at your home. Students, today I am going to discuss with you a very important factor where mostly all the students are facing problem. Now earlier I have given lectures on some trial, and we have clubbed some sections so that it may become easy for the students to cram those sections, to bring those sections at their fingertips. It is the demand of most of the students that how their habit of retaining the things, habit of bringing the facts on fingertip can be developed. Now, the most appropriate answer I give to them, because I will teach all the 26 topics of law to you people, and I have made some groups of sections so that every student may easily have grip over each and every section. Rather, many sections comes on tips of the students. And today I am going to take many sections of IPC, because students are facing the difficulty over this IPC, that there are 511 sections. How we can cram all these sections? Now I have made some groups of sections which are interlinked, which are having a relation to one another in one or other aspect. Now we will discuss that. Now I will request you people to be very attentive. If you listen to the lecture attentively, I assure you that at the end of lecture, you will say that you have crammed more than 40 sections while watching only this video clip, because you have to move systematically. Now, in these days, the trend of all the high courts, trend of all the state commissions is to ask the questions on the basis of sections. No, it means you are to cram each and every section. You are to have grip over each and every section. And this is the best method to have full grip. Now let us see. First of all, now there is one topic, theft, in this IPC. Section 378 defines what is theft. The students must know the ingredients of. In very simple, broadly, I will tell here the definitions and the other contents broadly, because we will take all these sections regularly when their turn will be, with the case law also, with multiple example also. Now here, my main purpose is that you must understand the method how you are to bring the sections at your fingertips. Now theft, what is a theft? Now theft is when the thief is having intention to take some movable property dishonestly from the possession of the other person, and he moves that property. Then we say that the offense of theft has been committed. Now, I will give some examples here so that it may be very clear to you. Now, this A and B were friends. Both were sitting in a restaurant for a cup of tea. And B, he was feeling irritation in his finger due to a ring of gold. And he removes that ring of gold and placed on the table for a while. In the meantime, he went to washroom also. And this A, what he has done, he has removed that ring and put into his pocket. In the meantime, he has forgotten that he had removed his this ring of gold, and this later on B came to know that he could not find out his ring. He asked A that whether he has taken it. He has denied. He has uh, stated that he had never seen that. Now, in this case, A has removed that item dishonestly from the possession of, although it was on the table, but it was still under constructive possession of that B. Now, in this case, A has committed theft. Now, this theft is punishable under section 379 of IPC. Now, you have to remember the ingredients, that what are the ingredients of this offense. Now, I will make very easy now. Now, theft has been defined under this section 378, and it is punishable under section 379. 3-year punishment is there. Now, if the same theft has been committed in house or in shop or in any dwelling place, then it is punishable under section 380. If the same theft has been committed by servant of the house, servant of some shop, it is punishable under section 381. If the theft has been committed after fully preparing, after having some knife in the pocket, some revolver in the pocket, or whatever maybe, then it is punishable under section 382, where the punishment is more, 10 years. For servant, it is punishment is 7 years. In dwelling house, it is also 7 years. Now it means if simple theft is there, it is punishable under 379. But these are the aggravated form of theft. Now in Punjab, 2 sections were recently introduced, 379A, 379B. 379A is aggravated form of a theft. It is named as snatching. If somebody commits theft suddenly, quickly, and runs away in order to escape from arrest, now that is snatching. As snatching is defined under section 379A, and it is punishable under 379B, where minimum punishment is 5 years. Now here one thing more, this offense is triable exclusively by the court of session. Minimum punishment is 5 years, it may extend to 10 years. Now this is how you have to cram very easily. Now here, how many sections are there? 7 sections. You can remember at one go. How? That 378, it is simply defining. 379, simple theft like that. Theft in anywhere outside that. Now 379A, it is snatching. 379B, 379A, it is defining the snatching. 379B, it is giving punishment for that. Now these are the aggravated form of theft. Theft in dwelling house, theft by servant, theft after preparation. Now let us see the second group. Second group is stolen property. It is also closely related to that. First of all, you must understand what is a stolen property. Now, stolen property is the property which is a result of theft, criminal misappropriation, breach of trust, or robbery also. Now, this is defined under section 410, like this, that this is a stolen property. If somebody receives stolen property knowingly that this is a stolen property, and he dishonestly received that stolen property, then it is punishable under section 411, where 3-year imprisonment is there. Now, if the property is the result, is received after committing dacoity, then it is punishable under section 412. For example, the property which was attained by dacoity has been given to somebody else. Now that person who is receiving this knowingly that this property is the result of dacoity, it is punishable under section 412, where 10-year imprisonment is there. Now some persons in our society are habitual of receiving stolen property. Now they are punished under section 430, where 10-year imprisonment is there. Many times, some persons are assisting the concealment of stolen property. That is also punishable under section 414. Now it means these are the sections which are relating to stolen property. Therefore, keep in mind that this is aggravated form, both the aggravated form of stolen property. Now let us see what is a criminal force assault, and in this group how many sections will come. Now here many sections will come under criminal force and assault. First of all, you understand what is a criminal force. Criminal force is when somebody, for the purpose of committing an offense or for creating fear or annoyance, uses criminal force. For example, if somebody pushes another person, that is using the criminal force. Somebody is pulling the person for the purpose of committing some offense, for the purpose of creating fear or annoyance in his mind. That is the use of criminal force. Then what is assault? Assault is simply preparation before using of criminal force. Now I will explain that. For example, A wants to assault B. Now he will do like that. Now this is the gesture which will show that offense of assault has been committed. Now here let us see which are sections in group. Now 349 is simply defining what is force. 350 is defining what is a criminal force, which I have disclosed to you. Now 351 is disclosing what is assault, which I have narrated, I have stated in that way. Now 352 is punishing assault and criminal force. Punishment is 3 months. Now let us see if we go sum up. If we cause some hurt by using criminal force, if simple hurt is caused, then it is punishable under section 323, where 1 year punishment is there. Now it can be slapping, It can be with stick. Let us see that if I will give this example of stick so that you may easily understand this. Now, A has caused one injury on the person of B with a stick, and it is a simple injury because no bone has been fractured. Now, this will be punishable under section 323, where 1 year punishment is there. Now, if this simple hurt has been caused by A with sharp-edged weapon, knife, etc., hurt is simple, and it has been caused with the sharp-edged weapon, then it will be punishable under section 324, where 3-year imprisonment is there. 323 and 324 both are dealing with simple hurt. But the difference is, here it is with the blunt weapon, here it is with the blunt weapon, here it is with the sharp-edged weapon. Now let us see grievous hurt. If A has caused grievous hurt on B with that stick, and some bones have been fractured, then A will be liable under section 325, where 7-year imprisonment will be there, because now it is a grievous, but a grievous with the blunt weapon. Now, if grievous injury has been caused with the sharp-edged weapon, then it is 326, where life imprisonment can be given, or imprisonment of 10 years can be given. The Parliament has added 2 more offences, 326A, 326B, that if hurt, burning is caused by throwing acid, then it is punishable under 326A. If some burn is there, if some injury has been caused, grievous injury is there, then punishment is 10 years. But if the attempt has been made simply and no injury has been caused, then it is punishable, where the minimum punishment is 5 years. It may extend to 7 years. Now suppose if the injury has been caused due to sudden and grave, sometime provocation is there, sudden and grave provocation. For example, B has abused A, and A took his stick and caused injury on B. Now here, A will not be given punishment under section 323. Rather, he will be punished under section 334, where the punishment is only 1 month. Because here he has done under sudden and grave provocation. Now, if grievous injury has been caused while a person is under grave and sudden provocation, then he will be punished under section 335. Now, if criminal force has been used while a person is under grave and sudden provocation from the other person, then it is punishable under section 358. 1 month punishment is only there. Now, this is the group which is relating to criminal force, assault, and hurt also. Simple hurt. Now, I will again briefly state so that you may cram that while listening to the lecture. 349, it is simply defining what is force. 350, it is defining what is criminal force. 351, it is assault. 352 is punishing both criminal force and assault, where the punishment is. Then simple hurt with blunt weapon, 323. Simple hurt with sharp-edged weapon, 324. Now here, grievous hurt with the blunt weapon. Now here, grievous hurt with sharp-edged weapon, 326 with acid, 326B, it is an attempt with acid, 334, 335, 358, it is when a person is under grave and sudden provocation. Now let us move further. In our IPC, certain negligent acts are also punishable. Let us see if somebody is driving a vehicle on highway, on public way, in a zigzag way, he is punishable under section 279. Because 279 is dealing with if somebody is driving vehicle. Now, the corresponding section is 336. If somebody is taking some items negligently, for example, he is taking some 12 swords which are naked. Some are on this shoulder, some are on this shoulder. And while going towards the market, he injured B. Now here he is not having any intention, but he has done some negligent act. It was his duty to take care of all these words. Therefore, 336 says that in such circumstances, when somebody commits a negligent act like these words, he will be punishable under section 336. Now, from this point of view, both these sections are common. Now, while committing negligent act under this section or under this section, if somebody is killed, then he is punishable under section 304A, where 2-year imprisonment is there. Now, if somebody is injured and it is a simple injury, then it is punishable under section 337 also, where 6-month punishment is there. Now, if it is grievous hurt, then it is punishable under section 338, where 2-year imprisonment is there. Now, let me repeat this negligent with regard to negligent act. Now, negligent act, section 279, it is dealing with when a person is driving a vehicle on public way. Now, this 336, when a person is carrying something negligently, and while doing so, if death is caused, it is punishable under 304A. And if some slight injury is there, simple injury is there, it is punishable under 337. If a grievous injury is there, it is punishable under section 338. Now let me come to this group of criminal breach of trust. Now, criminal breach of trust, first of all, let me disclose to you people that what is a criminal breach of trust? When the property has been entrusted to another person and the other person has misappropriated it, then we say that offense of criminal breach of trust has been committed. For example, A has given his cycle to B on request of B for using it for 2 days. But B sold that cycle. Now, in this case, cycle was entrusted by A to B, but B has misappropriated that. B has committed here criminal breach of trust. Now, this offense will be punishable under section 406 of IPC, where punishment is 3 years. Yes, students, I'm talking about all these sections which are mentioned in IPC. Therefore, sometime I may may not repeat the same word section of IPC, because all these sections are out of IPC, Indian Penal Code. Now suppose if A has given some goods to B for carrying from Jalandhar to Patiala, but on the way B has sold it. Now here B has committed criminal breach of trust, which will be punishable under section 407, because 407 will deal with this offense which has been committed by some carrier, transporter. Now, if the same offense has been committed by a servant in the house, in the shop, it is punishable under section 408 IPC, where 7-year punishment is there. If criminal breach of trust has been committed by a public servant or agent, then severe punishment is there. It is punishable under section 409, where life imprisonment is there, and 10-year imprisonment in term of years may also be given. Now let me repeat. Section 405 is simply defining what is criminal breach of trust. I have narrated. Now 406 is simple criminal breach of trust. I have given the example of a cycle. 407, example of a transporter. 408, if it has been done by private servant, we can say. But public servant, it will be under 409. Now let us come to next group of sections. Murder. Although this topic is not a small topic, but today what we are discussing how sections are to be crammed, how sections are to be brought on fingertips. But still I will tell you, firstly, what is murder, what is culpable homicide briefly. Now, culpable homicide has been defined under section 299. What is culpable homicide? In culpable homicide, some act is done by a person, and with that act, death is caused. Now, this act, if act is done with the intention of causing the death, or if the injury is caused, which is likely to cause death, or if some act is done with the knowledge that he is likely by that act to cause death. Now, these are the 3 ingredients of culpable homicide. Number 1, if he has done that act with the intention, or if he has caused the injury with the intention of causing such injury as is likely to cause death, or if he has done such act which is likely to cause death. Now, this is a culpable homicide defined under section 299. Murder is also culpable homicide. If the offense of culpable homicide is committed in the circumstances mentioned under section 300, then we say that this culpable homicide is murder. It means that murder is aggravated form of culpable homicide. Now let me slightly give one example of this culpable homicide and how it can be converted into murder. Now suppose A has caused some injury on the person of B with lathi, big stick. Now this injury is likely to cause death. Therefore, it will be a culpable homicide. But if A causes such injury with some sword on the head, and the doctor certifies that this injury is sufficient in the ordinary course of nature to cause death, then it will be murder, because it will come under the definition of section 300. Now, here, section 299 is defining culpable homicide. Section 300 is telling us that in which circumstances this culpable homicide will be murder. Now, if murder is committed, it is punishable under section 302, where death penalty is there or life imprisonment is also there. Suppose if X has been done according to the ingredients of section 300, but the person has not died, still he has been saved, then we will say that attempt to commit murder has been made. Therefore, attempt is punishable under section 307, where the punishment is 10 years or life imprisonment also. Death penalty can also be given in certain circumstances. Now let us see that this was group of murder. Let us see culpable homicide. Now culpable homicide has been defined under section 299. If the case does not fall under this murder and it is culpable homicide, we can say that this is a culpable homicide not amounting to murder. It is punishable under section 304. If now here life imprisonment can be given, 10-year imprisonment can be given. Now 308 is punishing those persons who have simply made attempt to commit culpable homicide, where the punishment can be 7 years or 3 years. Now both these will be explained in much more better in this group of exposure abandonment. Now here, very, very important sections: murder, culpable homicide. We will discuss this thoroughly, and it will take, you will see that we will be devoting 3 hours, more than 3 hours on this topic, with the multiple decisions of Honorable High Courts and Honorable Supreme Court, and with the multiple examples also. Now let us see what is exposure abandonment. 317 is dealing with this exposure abandonment. Let us see. Now A is having a child. His son B, who is 5 years old. Now A is fed up of this B. On one day, A took B and he placed B in a forest. Now here we will say that he has exposed the child. Here he has abandoned the child. Therefore, he is punishable under section 317, where 7-year imprisonment can be given. But here condition is that the child must be below 12 years. Now let us see, if this child died due to exposure, we will say that he has also committed culpable homicide, which is punishable under section 304, because he has done such act which is likely to cause death. But if the child is saved in the morning, somebody has taken the child, brought the child to the home, then this person A will be punished under section 308 as attempt of culpable homicide. Now let me say how we will say that this is a now murder. Now suppose A has taken the child, he has thrown the child when a tiger was coming or when a crocodile was coming, approaching him. Now here he has done such act which is imminently dangerous, and in all probabilities death is the result. Now we will say that if the child has been killed by that beast, now it will be punished under 302 of IPC because it is murder, because it will be falling under the definition of 300. Now he can be given life imprisonment, death penalty. And if the child could not be eaten by crocodile or by that tiger, then we will say attempt to commit murder has been made. It is punishable under section 307, where life imprisonment is also there, 10-year imprisonment is also there. Now let us come to next group. Now this is how by making groups, it will become very easy for you to cram many sections in one go. And once you have crammed all these sections, naturally there will be many more sections which will be connected with these sections, which will easily be crammed by you. Now come to this dishonest misappropriation of property. Now what is dishonest misappropriation of property? The property which is not belonging to a person, he has disposed of that. For example, A has found on the road a necklace of gold and nobody was there. Somebody had dropped. Now here A has sold immediately in the market that necklace. We will say that he has committed the offense of dishonest misappropriation of property because it was not belonging to A. Now let us see that A and B are friends. B has forgotten some valuables in the house of A and A has sold those. Now here also we will say that this is the dishonest misappropriation of property. Now here I want to distinguish it from criminal breach of trust. In criminal breach of trust, some property is entrusted to the accused, but here property has not been entrusted. This is the difference. Now let us see. This is punishable. Both the examples will be punishable under section 403. 2-year imprisonment is there. Suppose if a person dies and some property is in his possession and another person removes that property, now that is punishable under section 404 because this is dealing with the removal of items from dead person. If such things are removed by a servant of that deceased, then it is 7-year imprisonment can be given. Now let us move further with the next group of defamation. Very easy. Defamation has been defined in section 499. What is defamation? Defamation means when somebody is making some statement damaging the reputation of some other person. Let us take some example. A has raised the allegation, false allegation against B, who is a sarpanch of the village, that B has misappropriated the funds which have been supplied by the government to the panchayat. Now this is a false allegation. He has damaged the reputation of B. A has committed offense of defamation. Now this offense of defamation has been defined under section 499. This defamation will be punishable under section 500, where the punishment will be 2 years. Now if the same information is published by some editor, then it is punishable under section 501. If the same information is printed, say on pamphlets, and somebody is distributing or selling those pamphlets, it will be punishable. That person will be punishable under section 502. Now these are the 4 sections which are relating to defamation. Now let us come to this assault, obstruction to public servant. Yes, under this group, section 152 says that if some public servant is suppressing the rights and somebody is obstructing him, somebody is creating obstacle in his way, then he is punishable under section 152. Now all these sections are relating to public servant. All these sections are dealing with one common topic, that when a public servant is performing his official duties, if somebody is creating obstacle, creating hurdle in his way, he is punishable. Now this section 152 gives a 3-year punishment if the public servant is suppressing the rights and some hurdles are created and somebody is preventing him from doing that. 186, if the official, if some public servant is doing his duty and the other person is creating hurdle in his way. Now here he is not suppressing the rights, he is simply doing his duty. Here the punishment is somewhat less, 3 months punishment. Now, in case a public servant is doing his duty and somebody is using criminal force, pushing him, pulling him, then here that person will be liable under section 353, where 2-year imprisonment is there. In case public servant is performing his official duty and somebody has slapped him or caused simple hurt, he will be punished under section 332. Now here we will not go to 323 because there is a special section which is dealing with the hurt on public servant. Now if that hurt is grievous hurt, then punishment is a 10-year under section 333. Now these are the sections which is in the group of obstruction against that public servant. Now let us move further with the next group, extortion. Now what is extortion? Here very important fact is, now since we have understood what is theft, now extortion, let me say what is extortion. In extortion, the culprit, the accused, he puts fear, he creates a fear in the mind of the other, and by that fear he induces the person to deliver the property, whatever is there in his pocket with him. Now it means here firstly fear is created in the mind of that person, fear of injury, and then under inducement other person himself deliver the property. Now this is extortion has been defined like this in section 383. Now this extortion is punishable under section 384 if fear of injury has been created, which is punishable with 3 years. Now suppose if fear has been created but other person has not delivered anything. Now it means the attempt has been made for committing extortion. That will be punishable under 385, where 2-year imprisonment will be there. Now, if the fear is of causing death or grievous hurt, then it is the aggravated form of extortion. It will be punished under 386, where 10-year imprisonment will be there. Suppose here A has asked B that A will kill B. No, but what happened? B has not produced. Now A has demanded that give me whatever is in his pocket, but B has refused to do that. Now here attempt has been made. Now it will be punishable under 387, where 7 years will be imprisonment. Now both the sections, this section and this section, are dealing with attempt. Why attempt? Because here half of the work is done. Here threat is done. Fear has been created, but actual delivery of the property is not there. These are the sections relating to extortion. Then come to robbery. First of all, students, again I will say here, I will briefly tell what is a robbery, but we will discuss it in detail by giving multiple examples and by referring to many cases of Honorable Supreme Court and High Courts. Now 390 is the defining robbery. Briefly, keep in mind that robbery is nothing else. It is either theft or extortion. If a theft or extortion has been committed in certain circumstances, we say that it is a robbery. For example, if while committing theft, the thief has caused some injury on the owner of the property, now then we will say it is not a simple theft, it will be robbery. Similarly, in extortion, if the extortion has been committed at such a place where the person from whom some property is to be taken and the accused both are standing at the same place, and there is a fear of instant death. For example, A is having a revolver. He put his revolver on head of B, that A will kill B unless B hands over the box of cash lying with him. Now here there is a fear of instant death. No doubt it is extortion, but since it is the fear of instant death, this extortion will be converted into robbery. Now robbery, this is 391, it is defining dacoity. Dacoity is also robbery which has been committed by 5 or more than 5 persons. Now let us see. 392 gives punishment to the robbery, and punishment is of 10 years. If this robbery has been committed on highway in between the period of sunset and sunrise, then the punishment can be 14 years. Now, if simple attempt has been made, now this is punishable under 393, where 7-year punishment is there. Now, if a robbery has been committed and some injuries have also been caused, then it is punishable under section 394, where life imprisonment can be given or 10-year imprisonment can be given. Now, dacoity is punishable under section 395, where 10-year imprisonment can be given. If in dacoity some death has been caused, then it is punishable under section 396, where death, dacoity has been committed and death has been caused. Now, it is a life imprisonment also, death penalty also. Let me repeat this again so that this group you may remember. Now, robbery, I have explained what is the robbery. Now, robbery has been defined under 390 and dacoity has been defined under 391. 392 gives the punishment of robbery. 393, it is attempt to robbery. 394, when some injuries have been caused. 395, it is punishing dacoity. 396, when dacoity with murder. Yes, students, in a coming future, you will see that I will make groups of sections like this in every topic, and I will make that topic very easy. Otherwise, we are having 26 topics. Look here, IPC is having 511 sections, and this CRPC is having 484 sections. Otherwise, it will be difficult. But I will make groups of each and every topic so that you may easily understand. Because in these days, high courts of all the states are expecting that our new judges must be having each and every section at their fingertip. Now, this can be in this manner, and by students who have completed the study, now they can rate in one go more than 300 sections of IPC. Now, in this way, students, we will complete entire all the 26 topics. Now, with this, I will conclude this lecture. Oh, yes, students, now all the best. Have a good day. Thank you.